Welcome back to the show. NIP, they just lost Mirage, their pick, against Team Spirit, and now they're going up against Team Spirit on their pick, which is Dust 2 and James. Iris Balance went off. Something Young did his thing. Coldy opened it up. I feel like it's all about the Spirit players, and we haven't really had a storyline from the NIP players to give us an argument as to how they're going to get into this series.
Yeah. Ooh, no one's turned up for work.
Well, there you go.
They're all called in sick. I think Draken's going to have a better time of things. I just thought that I think with the two teams, the particular matchup, I think that he'll be more comfortable on Dust 2 than he will be on Mirage. I just think Mirage was a playground for disbalance. I expected it to be. I didn't want to overcommit, but I did think he was going to have a good game. I don't know what to expect in terms of who I think will have upper hand, but I think that I think Draken will be happier on Dust 2 for sure. That was a very interesting game on Mirage.
Yeah.
And again, with the games we've seen from Team Spirit, there have been so many rounds which have just come down to a 1v1 situation or just crazy HP or something, but they always seem to come out on the upper end of it.
Well, that tells you a lot, the fact that they can come out on top on those clutches, that they can look focused in those high-pressure scenarios when their life is on the line, James. That is a beautiful thing to see from them, and I don't think anyone really expected the kinds of performances out of them that we're getting, and they're really rising to the occasion. I honestly think that there is absolutely a world where they take this Dust 2 and they 2-0 nip out of the tournament. That would be incredible to see that, and because they would have earned it. If you've watched any of their games, again, they're a team that they're not perfect, but they have a lot going for them, and we're gonna get into the the knife rounds
Dan,
here,
it's the knife,
and to see who's going to start off on which side.
Loser goes home.
I think, I don't know, I still like starting off on the T side, but we see everyone picking the CT side.
Each to their own, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in a pug, I'll take the CT side, but in a match in a proper match, I like the T side. I like dictating the pace, James. I like taking the initiative on that T side of Dust 2. And there you go.
I don't care where I start.
Stabs
I just eco for AWP, run through, I have AWP, then I win. As simple as that, Dan.
Well, let's see what Team Spirit do. They won the knife. Where do they go?
You're hoping for T-side, aren't you? You're begging for T-side.
I'm wondering, because I feel like it makes a lot of sense.
Well, they've also gone CT side, Dan. I think you're behind the meta.
Maybe I'm ahead of the meta, James.
Yeah, that's a good response, Dan. Everybody goes CT side.
It's true, it's true.
Everybody goes CT.
One of the reasons that I like the T side over the CT side is that on the CT side, if things don't go well for you, it's hard to kind of get your heads back into the game sometimes, because it's hard to take initiative. What aggressions do you have? You don't really get very many. So if they kind of solve your CT side, it's hard to mix it up. It does come down to just a lot of the fundamentals, and so that's why I like it, because if it's like a Mirage, well, we can get aggressive. We can get some options. But I just hate that suffocating feeling, James, when you start getting beasted a few rounds in a row and you start to run out of ideas.
Never happened.
Fair enough.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I look forward to seeing what Team Spirit have to offer on this CT side. One thing that we know for certain is that we're going to get some AWP action from Midas Balance pretty quickly. And I think that anyone who's been watching Spirit recently, that's something to be excited about.
Yeah. One interesting thing as far as CT sides are concerned on Dust 2 is that for the Dust 2s we've seen so far in this tournament, the ones that you and I have seen, as opposed to the people at home who may have seen different ones on a different stream, I feel like we haven't seen the impact on the CT side with an AWP from a number of different teams that we're used to seeing in the past, maybe on old Dust 2. So, again, I'm interested. I disband it to being the right kind of aggressive sniper. If there's a way to be effective, I'm sure he's going to try and find it. I do wonder if he's going to be rotating his position as well. But of course, first comes the pistol. Draken and Lekro will have grenades for Ninjas in Pajamas. Lekro has a P250 as well. Sopfik will have double flash and a diffuse kit, no smoke grenade, as you might see on a different map. So Lekro is going towards the long position. We've got two players coming up mid. Oh, this is nice. It's very nice indeed. He does want to drop all these grenades immediately. The P250 will deliver the first kill. He's got a 1v1 of Samda Young, doing some damage in the meantime. Ninjas in Pajamas are moving into that lower tunnel position, so Samda Young had to push, otherwise he'll get shot in the back of the head, but he'll get shot in the front of the face instead.
Yeah, I like the two-man push-up mids. Sometimes you don't get the headshots though, and that's that. However, Chopper, Sophic remaining. They are really not looking good for this one. don't think Sophick's got really all that much to say about this. See him trying to back away. It's not going to happen, though. And now longish rotation for Mr. Chopper. And he's going to keep his Kevlar. I think that's a smart decision.
He's being hunted. Hunger Games. He is, what's that woman? What's that girl's name? Jennifer Lawrence. She's in Hunger Games, right? She's got like an arrow or something.
Got a bow and arrow, not just the arrow.
Oh, that's sweet.
She's got the bow as well.
Sweet. It's always nice when you've got the bow.
Maybe even a quiver to store the arrows, James. She's not holding them in her hands.
One of my snipers is called William Tell. If you know. Do you know who William Tell is?
Pray tell.
Bloody hell.
Well, that's smart.
First round goes to Ninjas in Pajamas. Draken will pull out a scout. William Tell was an archer back in the day.
Right. Anything else?
Well, I mean, that's enough.
Well, I mean,
it's relevant enough to put the name on one of my snipers. My sniperoos.
I'm going to have to inquire more about this. Oh, that was close. I just balanced. We've seen some cheekiness from him before. I feel like you got to be careful against that scout in this spot. You don't want to go down as a T. You have so many advantages. Like that's like one of the ways Team Spirit can get into the rounds. So I always feel like you want to be careful.
It's an interesting duel because I think in most cases the T sniper is standing still with a scout on both sides. The T sniper is standing still. The CT sniper's running past the angle, and while he might get tagged in the chest, I think he's more likely to shoot the other guy in the head through the door. The longer that goes on for, of course, he could get tagged twice, but it could easily go the other way. NIP have possession of the long area, and the first smokes will be dropped, moving up slowly, looking for a push maybe, or a flash or something. There are 4 CTs here now. Sundayang is behind the smokes on the ramp. Topper gets taken out. His balance up close. Oh, running out of bullets to get right, but his teammates are there. Shrapnel from Draken leaves Chopper as the last man to fall. He will be taken care of by Ninjas in Pajamas, put in a pocket, and it's 2-0 for NIP.
I wonder what the plan is for Team Spirit. Obviously, this is their map pick, so you'd assume that everything they're doing has a plan behind it. Because I just balance, you know, he gets he's the AWPer. He got a scout. The rest of his team saved. Obviously, they don't end up getting any damage, which kind of sucks, but, you know, whatever.
He started this round, I think, with 2450.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he bought last round. He got a scout last round. And the rest of his team full saved. So I'm just wondering, like, what the plan is behind that. Do they have, like, a specific way? Because they know he's going to... If they're most likely losing that round, so you should surely think at one step ahead and be like, okay, well, we're doing that because we know that we can do this particular round where he has an MP9 and it's cool.
Yeah, I think he's not going to have the money to buy an AWP anyway. I'm just adding the 2450 to the price of the scout. I don't know if he had Kevlar. I wasn't paying attention to that, but I guess if he can't buy an AWP in this round anyway, then it doesn't matter too much because that's where his output is.
Yeah, interestingly, I mean, he's not opting to get a scout. I don't know if he would have wanted to go scout naked, but actually, no, he would have been able to get Kevlar with it, I think. Anyway.
He's playing the goose position. He's playing anti-flash goose position. And he has Sotfik and Sundayang for support. Now we see NIP moving up to that short area. There's no lurker towards long. The CT side don't know that, of course, so Sundayang might get stuck towards that long position. Like, does he stand and fight by car if the push comes in, or does he just go towards the pit, try to hold on to long for the retake?
It's actually a really good spot with the MP9, honestly, so I can see why that makes sense. Maybe dropping a cat drop into towards mid, perhaps. Still throwing the nades out there to try to distract the CTs, and Colby gets him. He gets one, but now Chopper, he's going to actually trade out here. Oh my god, James, they're actually making a really good go of this. NIP are in so much trouble. Echo gets shot in the back from the rotation of the MP9, and only one man has died. Draken has to plant, and that's surely a cue to jump in on top of the bomb site, but they're waiting. There's a flashbang. Don't know how good that flash was, but either way, it's just Forrest left. Can either 1v3? No. Idis Balance, he's collected an AK-47, and James, NIP, they went for a fake into the A-bomb site. The cat drop mid B split, or B split, is that's often a great strat because you're prepping for an A push. So you've got 3 players deep on the A-bomb site. Your rotation to B is really far away.
A cat drop might have been interesting, but they just ran back off through double doors, actually. They had 2 players moving up towards the B bomb site to cut the player by the window, and then some flashes later, everything came to a standstill. But I don't really know how, whoever it was, I think it was maybe Lecro who was watching the smokes in CT spawn. He had 2 CTs running at him to shot him through the smoke. It's kind of wild, but here comes a push into the B bomb site, and this time it might just work out for them. 4 players this time for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They've got a molly for the window. Plenty of smoke grenades as well. So Team Spirit outmaneuvered. They've got a retake Molotov for underneath the window. There's a HE to do some damage. Maybe it was towards double stack. That wasn't quite where the bomb was planted. And it seems that Team Spirit will give up on this one. Not going to go for the war of attrition. IDIS balance already down towards that long area. So a fast play into the B bomb site from Ninjas in Pyjamas was successful.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good way to get it done every so often. It's really weird because the B pushes are so hard to hold when they're like that. But sometimes it feels like it's an unreliable round. Especially if you don't have too much information on what the other team's tendencies are like. But it's a perfect round in this case. The pacing really threw Team Spirit. They were not ready for that. Did not have the requisite nades in place. But 3 survive, so that's okay. We should get some drops, and the buy will be in for Team Spirit. It is interesting though. Like I still feel like the round before that last one, that was like a really good T round from NIP. Like the way you set it up is like really ideal. But I don't know how it went all so badly wrong. And maybe that's a good projection here for Team Spirit. You know, showing their resilience in awkward positions. Starting off with 4 towards A at the beginning of the rounds. Maybe wanting to make sure that they don't lose long straight away. And they've got a 1-1-3 set up here. And NIP creep out middle, leaving mid open to get the aim battles, and that is exactly why. Favorable duel coming in for Lecro, and into the B-bomb site, only Coldy. Oh, it's a labored spray, took too long to get that kill, and the round should surely be won. The rest of the CT stuck behind smoke. NIP have done it again, outmaneuvered Team Spirit.
All that with Draken in T-spawn as well, so if Team Spirit did try to, Chopper was going through the long doors, so if he did try to go up mid, it would have not gone well for him in most cases. So again, another outmaneuver from Ninjas in Pyjamas. And Team Spirit quite spread out, trying to hold on to what they have. And again, they need IDIS balance on the AWP for sure. I mean, that doesn't really... Unless he rotates to B at the beginning of a round, that might not solve the problems that they have at the moment, but that's where they need him to be. He was a very important player for them in the previous map. Ooh, what happened there? Oh, that's got to be one of those mouthfeel issues.
Maybe, yeah. He like switched away from his gun after one.
Yeah, it's got to be like sometimes with certain mice, if you weapon switch with the mouse wheel, then it can get stuck between 2 notches where you click mouse 1 and it switches to one of those notches. So I'm assuming that is what just happened to Forest. But won't have colossal impact, so happened in worse situations before.
Another fast timing down middle, which you can do when there's no AWP on the CT side. You don't have to worry about any challenges coming through the mid double doors, and they take that and they take a really good timing from it. So that's going to be really problematic now for Team Spirit, because you can see that they're forced in spots like that. You're forced to bring someone into CT spawn, and oftentimes, and that weakens the A defense. So that sets up the T side for making a really nice set piece in from those cat stairs onto the A bomb site, where effectively all you need to do is isolate the guy on the bomb site with some Molotovs and flashbangs and smoke off the AWPer on the car position, and you're good to go into the A bomb site. Ooh, that's a nice HE though coming in.
Let's see if Team Spirit can defend this. Don't have the best of scores so far. There's a counter flash. Disbalance has a look, but Rez is by Gandalf. And there he will stay for now. NIP being held though, they're not quite through the choke point. They're just completely exposed between these smokes. The bomb's been dropped for the time being. That's a great tap from Rez though. Looking to have another nice performance on Dust 2 as he did on Mirage. Draken spots one of the last 2 players. I want to pull his gun out again. Molly down by the door. I know one guy is there, but again, Team Spirit will have to give it up. The best chances to recover have come and gone, and it's going to be 5-1 for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, it was almost a good hold, almost. Those rounds are really hard to stop though, James. Like, you know, again, like you force, as I mentioned, you force the CT into CT spawn, and then there's only 2 guys on the bomb site, which are easy to deal with the correct grenades. And NIP through those. But yet Team Spirit, I think they had some good counter utility, managed to get some damage in, but ultimately that assistance from that CT play is coming in and he's playing against headshot angles and his whole body's exposed. It's so difficult. So Team Spirit will lose another round in NIP, racking them up. And on the desk, you know, you had Pimp saying that, you know, he really believes NIP have a strong Dust 2. And so far we're seeing the confidence. And again, it's another reason why I like starting on T-side, James, just because I like it when you have a team that's, you know, sort of against the ropes. You keep them in this spot where, again, they can't dictate the rounds. Instead, like, psychologically, they feel like they're just being reactive and having to adjust to what you're doing. And so you're more imposing in that instance. And I like that too. Because right now, Spirit, they're the ones getting dictated to heavily. They can't seem to really find any answers for anything right now.
I don't believe they've had an AWP in any of these 6 rounds.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're likely to get one next round, but it's been a long time, and I'm curious to see if that will be a game changer for them. But holding the B bomb site is also an issue. Yeah. So it might be that once they're on the buy, NIP might just go back to that as a way to negate a potential AWP. That'll be interesting to see in the next round, assuming NIP are successful here.
And there's actually even an argument that you make, given the fact that Spirit struggles so much with their rifle rounds even, that they actually full save here. Because even though they're just kind of half bind to keep the economic pressure on NIP, you could argue that the extra money will give them an extra full buy rounds later on. And it seems like that might be the only way that they can actually even take rounds in the first place. So economic damage doesn't mean anything if you can't win rounds. And so that's maybe an argument for that. But maybe, you know, we'll see if they can get some cheeky 1D exchange. That's what it's all about. There's cheeky 1Ds.
The initial angle you saw Draken take through B was this one, basically. If a CT jumps onto this position, onto the platform position, they're always exposed at first. So if you have a good spawn of an AWP, you might see somebody make a play over there. Oh my god, speaking of making plays, Dan, just going for the gun. They kind of expected Lekro to be ready for a 2-man spray down after getting 2 kills on a short position. That's really unlucky for Team Spirit. The timing was wonderful for them. But it's still a dangerous round. They still have the Silence M4 on Sotfik, and Chopper's alive as well, moving back in towards the B bomb site just in time as Lekro has a look. And there's Sotfik, 2 versus 2 now. Chopper can just hide by double stack, and that could be a problem. If he gets 1 kill, look at the time on the clock. NIP might not check everything properly because of how low the time is. They're going towards the car position. The longer they take elsewhere, the more likely Chopper is to find a frag from this double stack spot. Trying to figure out where he aims. The 5-7, he's patient with it. It's 2 versus 1 now, just dancing around double stack. His teammates coming towards the window, and it's absolutely brutal, Dan. What were you saying about a half buy? Talk to me now.
Oh my god. Chopper played that absolutely perfectly. That is the perfect passage of play from Chopper. You got to respect that. He found the absolute correct moment to peek, kept track of the second player, able to just dance around the pillar. That had to be so frustrating. Wow. Okay, all right. Double orbs, let's go. Let's go. Let's see if they can get back into this one now with those double orbs. Very, very difficult round for NIP to lose. And Coldy, you know, they've been abusing NIP these fast timings down middle so often because there's not been an orb. NIP try it again. They do get tagged. See Lekro losing some health there. And Spirit do have to have more presence on middle. It has been so easy for NIP to just get those fast timings. So Rez is maybe peeking into the A bomb site. Yeah, he's just going to go down there. He's trying to walk in. Out of balance. We'll have that. I don't think they expected the second AWP. I think Rez, because hearing the first AWP in mid, I don't think he anticipated an AWP 1 versus 1 on the A side.
And the second AWP is towards B. They are looking to potentially split, however. Sotfik, has he got to jump up over the smoke? Is the smoke going to go soon? Forrest having a look towards the window, but Coldy says no. Lekro and Draken outside the window for now. Sotfik trying to pick the right time. Get right spot to spatial awareness though. He backs off as the smoke starts to dissipate. But it's a 3 versus 5 for NIP. What has happened to all their success? Moving towards a short position, Sotfik may hear them from the CT spawn spot and allow Disbalance to visualize.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Like the double orbs, we'll have to see how long it takes NIP to adjust to it, but it's looking good so far for Team Spirit. I don't want to say that this is where the momentum changes just yet. There's still lots of work for Team Spirit to do, and they still have to win this round. Flash comes in, 20 seconds to get the bomb planted. Disbalance hits the first one, the second one by Sotfik, and Draken might be sent
They got no money.
Back. Yeah, he's going to fall back. Yeah, so there you go, James. Maybe the tide will be turned after all. Coldy hits a nice flick there with the AWP as well.
They won a round on eco, and everybody survives on their buy round. Those are great stats. Going back to that eco,
Yeah.
when you see the time on the clock, when the last 2 players for NIP are going into the B bomb site, you know it's the perfect storm. There's just so many angles to check. It just gives so much time for Team Spirit, as long as you have the right player to play it right, and they certainly did. And now look at the situation. Very different scenario from the 5-1 scoreline that seems so many moons ago at this point. Tactical pause will come and go, and Ninjas in Pyjamas need to find a way to secure themselves. It won't be this round. For the most part, they're on about $2,000 per person. Draken has more, but really he should be saving for an AWP. He's picked up a Desert Eagle. So we'll see what else they bring into this round. Sam Dayang with a slow start. He's got 1 kill on the board at the moment, but he's in a great position to add to that tally.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I mean, it's another reason why Counter-Strike is so cool, because, you know, like this word that we use, momentum, the shifts of momentum that are possible based on how the game works, because of economy, because of, you know, just winning one of those unlikely rounds, and, you know, because of individual performance perhaps, or a really good gamble, or there's so many different ways to maybe turn the tide and change the momentum and get yourself back in. And so the narrative now shifts completely. Oh God, speaking of which, Draken's got a narrative out of Spanis's face, and that Deagle will allow them into the bomb site. Still have to get a hold here. They can't access any weaponry. They've got no Kevlar, no nades. They're fully exposed, James.
Sam Dayang holding the long position for now, but the rotation looks awkward for Team Spirit. They're not going up the short area. They're all coming from below. So NIP have the high ground advantage, as bad as the weapons are. Ooh, there goes another one and another one. Draken's going nuclear with the Desert Eagle. And suddenly it's Coldy about to give up an AWP. He's not going to 1 versus 4 with a USP, that is for sure. So this is a bad situation for him. They spread the numbers game, the swarm. Draken goes huge with the Desert Eagle. I don't think I've ever seen a round like that from him.
Yeah, so the way I was building everything up and setting the scene, yep, all comes crumbling down because NIP do exactly what Team Spirit just did. However, you know, as you had mentioned, Team Spirit managed to survive with so many players. They can get their double ops back out. So they have to control the situation here, or else it gets real bad real fast. Forest looking for the gap shot there, along with Draken, who has an AWP. Saved from the last round. I don't know if there's an AK on the floor, or if they're actually just roll with the double orbs. Double orbs T-side on Dust 2 is very viable. IDisBalance, look at him go, though, ready and waiting. He wants that push. He wants to take one down early. He wants to take matters back into his own hands.
Device used to make that play against Existence teams on old Dust 2. He'd stand there and face the wall, and every round they'd always throw a pop flash in lower tunnel. He'd wait for that and then look lower tunnel. There'd be a lot of kills from that position. Nice to see some kind of throwback to that. Haven't really seen people doing that in New Dust 2. Ninjas in Pyjamas will put res on the AWP since he's low. 2 AWPs picked up in that eco round prior. The opportunist collection of them, but again, as Dan mentioned, it might slow them down. They haven't got any picks just yet, so they're not going to really be flush with strats for 2 AWPs on a T side. Trying to run up short, for example, and trade might make it a little more awkward.
The only smoke for Team Spirit is towards B. It's on Coldy, who's playing the AWP close range in the upper dark area, so that's interesting. And it looks like NIP will go towards A here. So IDisBalance, it doesn't really have much utility support here. He's just going to have to hit some shots. In comes the NIP utility. It's very difficult to deal with. There's no molly in his position. When he hit any shots here, his teammates are getting all the kills here from below. This is not looking too bad at all. How on earth have they done so much damage? I have no idea. I thought NIP were a shoo-in to get into the bomb site, but that rotation through CT spawn, it was smoked though, so I have no idea how Team Spirit managed to find all the kills from below.
Yeah, so not Sam Dayang. Disbalance, he's been a problem from that ramp position because he has the off angle. It's such an awesome off angle to have from behind the boxes, and it's a difficult position to deal with for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They're getting the flashes, but he can just continue to move slightly to his left and take a different angle, and they don't really have an answer for it in the 2 rounds where he's been in that spot. Fantastic answer from Team Spirit, and now we have Ninjas in Pajamas in a force buy position. Questions towards long, but they've been answered very firmly by Team Spirit, who have Sotfik and Sumdayung in that position. Nobody in mid at present. Sotfik has been around CT spawn in many of these rounds, but supporting his teammates elsewhere for now, while NIP at the usual time do the usual thing, taking shots.
Shot fired up on Catwalk, and there's not really too much you can tell about that. Does bait out an HE grenade though, which is nice. There's only one more of those left. Holding on the B-bomb site, so lurk smoke. Oh, Draken gets a pick from mid in towards the B-bomb site through window. Now Chris trying to play with his smoke here. It's a known one. Defending towards B. Looks like NIP will start to move, but so will Team Spirit. NIP, I don't know if they'll be fast enough here. Team Spirit, though, they're not really moving. Chopper's in a lot of trouble. He really needs some assistance. Now they start to move, but looks like it could be a juke here from NIP. They might go back up towards the catwalk, and Sumdayung hears everything. And Sotfik starts to move back into middle because they surely must know. But Idis Balance, the boss of the A-bomb site, he is going to be waiting to eat this push. Can he do it? Yes, there's the first one. A few more to go, though.
Again, the off angle behind the box. He can reset the situation again, and he's bought time for his teammates to rotate. The Molotov will help as well. The short plant, they can jump and try and stop it. And there it is. Sumdayung with a beautiful frag, and he will have a nasty one below the scope of Draken to finish off the job. NIP with limited options. You just felt it coming. It's so close. If a CT is jumping when you're trying to plant for short like that, it's so close. Even with the inaccuracy in the game, there's such a reasonable chance. I feel like it's like 40% at least that they're going to frag you while you're planting the bomb, just jumping over there.
I wondered if they even boosted for it.
Yeah, it was off camera, so I'm not sure. But
yeah, people are getting more savvy and quicker to understand that they can do these like fast boosts on the go. Counter-Strike has evolved so much in the last like couple of years. We just see way more understanding of everything, and it's just coming into the game. Like one of the biggest differences is utility usage. It's just every year it just gets noticeably much better, which is so fun to watch. Get to see the game played differently all the time and
more efficiently.
More efficiently, yeah. And the Glocks are out now. And that's actually one of the things that, like, taking maps in and out of the pool and kind of recycling them. It's the only thing that I like about that is it is kind of cool to see the new things that are possible when you have a map that's taken out of the pool. And you mentioned Dust 2 before, James, and how things were different. Well, utility usage is generally better now. So that's one of the reasons why maybe, as you were saying, like it's harder to get, do you see the AWPs working? Again, like utility usage is better. Players understand how better to diffuse the advantages of an AWP. However, as we're about to see, perhaps, okay, no, I thought maybe it'd be the Idis Balance AWP shots, but yeah.
Interesting how when this map was released, the changes that Valve put in to change the grenades people were throwing. For example, just to the right of T-spawn, from a T's perspective, you used to see smoke grenades jump thrown towards the car position to smoke off AWPers when you're pushing short, but they put an awning there so you can't do that anymore. So that has changed the game somewhat, but of course there's plenty of other things to come. So again, we have Idis Balance playing the anti-flash situation. There is a flashbang mid. So it is telegraphed, just like we spoke about previously. Coley catches Rez off guard, again, maybe forgetting about the second AWP. You hear Idis Balance, you think you're safe, you're not safe. And Coley and Idis Balance are top fragging now, and I did call into question if they would be able to be effective with the AWPs, and the two AWPs are at the top of the scoreboard for Team Spirit, and that hasn't been the case in many of the Dust 2s we've seen for different teams on the CT side. Wall of smoke towards long to isolate any players. You can see Sotfik is separated from Sumdayung now, but nobody's pushing this yet. And now outcome Get Right and Draken. Distraction being run, but he will still get a frag Get Right. Idis Balance is now in an awkward situation.
It's a hard shot to make. You see the... Oh, wow, Sotfik. That's big. That alleviates so much pressure on Idis Balance. He was so vulnerable to Catwalk. And this push has really been dismantled. It's run out of steam. There's only 2 players remaining. And... really cool hold here so far, and Chopper, will he spot this? Yes, he will, and that's the bomb. Get Right alone with very low amounts of HP, far from the bomb. Nice flick, though, coming onto Disbalance. Instantly takes him down. Geros has, well, he has to ace to make this work, but he will get taken out. And James, T-Spirit, they can get a 9-6 half, which, again, if we go back in time and look at how wrecked they were getting in the first, like, 6 rounds, that's a reality I wouldn't have expected. And not only did Team Spirit get that crazy pistol win, then they got wrecked by Draken's pistol. And then I thought, well, there's no way now that they're going to have a strong first half, but they've managed to find a lot of value, as you were saying, out of these double orbs.
There's a tech pause at the moment. One of the players has a nosebleed to deal with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounds like you.
I tend to get those in the summer.
I was playing Quake 4 finals in 2006, I think it was, and one of my teammates, Skip, I don't know if you played with him actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was on our lineup, and he got a seriously bad nosebleed and like a horrible migraine as well, and it's so bad that he couldn't play. We had to sub somebody in for the finals. Just random
at the same time. Nosebleed and the migraine.
No, it was just at the same time, but it was just before the finals, so we had to play the finals without him, which sucked.
That's
Although
crazy.
we did get a good replacement, but
I don't think I've
starting 4.
I don't think I've had a migraine before, because sometimes you think, oh, you've got a really bad headache and it's a migraine. But if you look up what a migraine actually is, you're like, nah, actually, it wasn't that extreme.
No,
so.
I think we had to get him to the hospital. Actually, it was kind of rough.
Yeah,
it's kind of rough.
I think I had a nosebleed on broadcast one time, but we were off camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
At least once. The worst one I had though is when I got blasted in the face playing football when I was in goal, and because the ball was still live, I just was trying to clean it up with my shirt. It still looked like I'd been attacked by like 5 dudes. There's blood everywhere. People are like, oh my god, are you okay? It's like, it's just blood, man. Relax. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to add to the nosebleed stories, but maybe for another time. As we are going to get the unpause here coming in. And if you're just joining us, Team Spirit, they picked up the first map, Mirage, against NIP with fantastic performances. Well, okay, there's no headset on Res.
I gave Fallen a hug once and made his nose bleed.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you manage that? Was it too much pressure?
I think his nose is a little sensitive.
We want mere presence.
Like sometimes like I have like a hair on my nose which irritates, so I just keep like hitting my nose a bit. But then if you do that a lot, it kind of makes your nose more fragile in the short term, and then that kind of thing can happen. Anyway,
man, I would not want to like spar with you in boxing or something. You just get nosebleeds all the time.
No, I don't have a sensitive nose though.
If you're saying you tapping it can trigger it, but if you get
no,
punched in the face,
but that's like in a if you were doing that for like if your nose was super dry one day and it was making you could feel it or something or uncomfortable, and you just kept like I don't know pressing your nose or something, then in the short the short term you could make it more fragile, but long term it'll go back to normal if you just leave it alone.
I think you just need to get punched a lot. Develop more of a sensitivity.
You think I need to get punched a lot?
Yeah, just
I think
develop more of a resistance.
I think you've been punched too much, Dan.
Condition your nose. I did fall on my head a lot when I was a child. So
yeah, you had a lot of accidents. I didn't have too much head trauma. All right, they're back in the game now. There's a delay for a nosebleed and then for something else, but everybody's back in their chairs. And we will continue. 7-6 for Team Spirit. Ninjas in Pajamas mostly have $3,000 per person. Shut up. I don't know what I said.
3 thighs.
Lecro has bought Kevlar and a Desert Eagle. What is the loss bonus for NIP? It's pretty high, let's say. Because 6 of the last 7 rounds have been won by Team Spirit. A stark turnaround from the beginning of this Dust 2. I think that Ninjas in Pajamas fans will be concerned. The loser goes home. It's a long way home, Dad. We're in China.
Yeah, man. It's a long way back. But
at least there's vodka on the plane.
Well, we're not all degenerates like you, James. We don't all turn to the vodka on the plane. Let me see. Very, very little utility here. Garai's obviously got that AK that he saved. And they're going to see if they can get an entry here onto the A-line position. But this is actually a really good angle for Sumdai Young, because he'll probably, if they throw a flash, he's protected if it goes outside. And if they bounce one off the doors, I think he still gets kills. So it's a pretty strong position. Oh, that's actually a perfect flash. Beautiful. Really nice detail there from NIP, but they got to keep pushing forwards. They will claim another weapon. That's an M4. I just balanced by the car though. The issue is that there's no, I was going to say there's no utility to get rid of that guy in his position. I just balanced, but they'll just shoot him in the face from Catwalk. They've managed to get an ace split, James, and a bomb down.
They haven't picked up the AWP though, and they've abandoned the car position. Maybe Forest can make it there. Team Spirit have got to take the short area. I think they realize that now. With no control of the high grounds, it's brutal to try and just all go from CT spawn into the bomb site, so they will come up short. Lekro's forced away. There are 2 smokes for Team Spirit, so long range might be a problem. There's one on the site itself, but Forest can hide inside that. A second one in the same position. Surely climbs into the smoke. Surely he does. They're not even going to make it to the site. They're stuck on short, just like NIP have been on previous pushes, and it will be round number 7 for Ninjas Pajamas. A very unlikely situation. I think Idis Planet had to leave his teammates to die. They pushed through the smoke. I mean, he's devastating, but sometimes you got to cut the losses. AWP not needed. They didn't pick it up at any point in that round, I don't believe. And we have a pause from somebody. Ninjas in Pajamas.
Wow, that's the second time NIP have won us a very surprising rounds. And that's a huge problem. It does bring into question, I suppose, some of the value of Somdai Young's position, but you're not expecting, I think, when he gets into that position, he's not expecting a rush. So I guess that maybe, in hindsight for Team Spirit, if they're tracking the economy correctly of NIP, maybe they think in the future just to play much more safe against the rushes and not have the close positions like that. But hindsight's 2020s. Either way, it was the case that NIP had a bad buy, but now they've got a good one. And they are contesting that 8th round. Spirit, can they pick it up? Ooh, that looked really close from Forest. What is the play here for NIP? They're actually just chilling outside the long doors here. It looks like maybe a late long take. Could be in order for them. Forest does have the bomb though. He will be rotating through to the upper dark position. And there's not much information here for Team Spirit at the moment. Cody's going into the upper tunnels with the AWP. He's got an off angle. He's creeping forwards with that AWP. Forest is on the other side.
He's held this particular spot in previous rounds, and he didn't really go beyond this position.
Yeah.
So this will be a standoff. Lekro starts to creep forward. Surely whoever peeks to a Coldie is just going to get taken out immediately. Because they're going to be close to the corner. Oh, Forest, he knows about it. I didn't even think he saw him. I didn't see him. But Forest is beasting. Chopper gets taken out as well. Didn't spot Lekro in time. And now I think that's got to be the round at this point. 5 versus 2. Somdayang is kind of crawling forward with 7 HP. And get right on the flank, of course. Don't know where he is. He's behind you. Trivia, this position can be sprayed. This balances position, high and low. 8 rounds for Ninjas in Pajamas. And again, it was indeed a better half already for Draken. 11 kills for him in that half. Lekro just stealing the lead with 12 for his team. But it's Coldie up top with 13 frags. Very handy on the second AWP for Spirit.
Yeah, that was really cool. Honestly, that position Forest, again, if you play a lot of high-tech Counter-Strike, there are certain spots that you're probably concerned about. And I really liked the position that Coldie had that you were describing, just because you take kind of this really deep position that's an off angle, but there are certain spots, if you understand the geometric advantage, that it puts you in a position where you'll see the other guy first. And even if it's just a little bit first, when you know they're walking into an angle, or if they're likely to walk into an angle, like in that spot, typically the T's will be walking into that angle. In Coldie's position, you actually have an enormous advantage. You're probably going to, with an AWP, you're going to get that first kill. And if you expect that the other team's playing a default, then there's no one to trade that kill that you just get, and you can fall back safely. So that's one of the reasons why Coldie's position there is so strong. But as you mentioned, James, Forrest he just knows the game very, very, very well. And he was anticipating, ready for that. Good focus from him. And I don't know that I expected NIP to actually end up with more rounds. But we have to consider this also, James. NIP won the pistol round on the T side.
Yep.
So they got off to a very good start because of that. And
they went up 5-1.
And still, there were 7 rounds for Team Spirit. So that's really impressive. They've really turned up here today so far.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting second half. I did raise questions about the sniper rifles on the CT side. Team Spirit passed with flying colors. Can Ninjas in Pajamas do the same? I did think it would be a better map for Draken. So far, so good. But now the true test will come as they try to defend and find a way to be efficient through the smoke grenades of Team Spirit. First, of course, comes the pistol. No mid-push from Ninjas in Pajamas, but it will be a short push from Get Right Draken. Can they rotate in time? Rez is doing a fantastic job so far. He has stopped. He has shut down this push into the B-bomb site. Draken will spot, and he has to fall back now. Tried to stay alive. He goes back as far as he can. He can double peek with Get Right, maybe. Doesn't quite work out. Draken taken out. But they still have a man advantage for now. Ninjas in Pajamas can quickly change, such as the nature of a pistol round. They've got a lot of information in mid as well. I'll see the players rotating back of Team Spirit. Get Right going to deal with Long. If Coldie peeks and loses the bomb, that might be the round. There it is.
Yeah, still a minute to go. And Someday Young, he's got 4 kills. He had a very, very bad first half. But we'll keep an eye on him here, because I think that this T side will start to see Someday Young really rising up the scoreboard very quickly. This is a pretty awful situation. He's completely exposed. I don't know that he knows that. Now he gets a chance to... He knows where Lekka is now. That's a pretty big deal. And Chopper has to win the 1v1 against Get Right. That's really important. Can he do it? It's all... Actually, they pinned to Get Right. This is perfect. But Get Right still gets the kill. Beautiful work. He's on 1 HP. That really takes the biscuit, James. I don't think Someday Young can really do too much here from this position. Finds one. Forrest, got to be careful. Someday Young still has a decent amount of health, but of course one headshot at any range from these USPs will kill him. And he's against these long ranges. It's very difficult. He picks up another frag. Get Right on 1 HP, James. 1 HP. Someday Young can still do this. 20 seconds. He's got to go for the plant though. Get Right's not revealing himself, and Forrest will close it down.
30 seconds to run up Long, pick up the bomb, run back to A, plant the bomb with 3 people alive is very difficult. Add the Glock to that. Doesn't get any better. Ninjas in Pajamas in a solid start. They've won both pistol rounds now. Everybody likes to look at those statistics, but so they want to hope that they win this map. But just for that, of course, they are a map down as well. Great start from Rez, and it just deterred Team Spirit from pushing into the B bomb. So they're like, maybe not. And then they all spread out. NIP had loads of information where they were pushing, went 1 by 1. So it kind of turned into a complete mess for Team Spirit after that, just a bit random.
Yeah. However, they do kill Draken. Someday Young gets a deagle kill. We've seen this round one before. And it often happens through the cat push. I think it was Na'Vi yesterday that just won a... was it Na'Vi or was it Tai Lu? I forget who it was. I think it was Tai Lu. They went around like this without losing any players on the T side. More kills coming in. They've got a bomb plant surely now. Let's get that bomb on down before the nades start coming in. There's actually no nades. There's no nades. Okay.
They can't reach any of these weapons. That is an issue. Now, you can boost close to the site, you can boost opposite the site, or you can just look and frag people to shoot them in the face. No one has Kevlar, and it will be a very nice cleanup where Lekra gets the SMG kills. That's plenty of money for him as well, which will help since they lost 2 players. I don't know if there's a rifle to collect. Lekra is going down long, so maybe there was, or some grenades or something.
So NIP have won both pistols. They've converted both follow-up rounds, and they're 10-7. This game is still wide open, despite them winning both those pistols. And I think, James, my prediction is Someday Young is going to get activated now.
On the T side.
On the T side, it does too. It's going to get activated. I'd like to see a long take from them to start things off at some point, just to take some position away from NIP straight away. But looks like they'll play more of a default here. You see that NIP are ready for a long take. They had players in position, as you often do. That's how you start off a CT rounds. And Team Spirit will spread out. So they're looking at the default. They've got Chopper close to the double doors. Someone top mid can flash him to peek that, or he can throw the Molotov from behind the double doors. Close down those shut down the close positions to make sure those CDs are there. But look at this aggressive setup we've got from NIP. They're playing 2 players aggressively with the AWP on this catwalk position. Draken with the AWP, and he's got Rez playing anti-flash. And there you go. Gets the tag onto Sotfik. Sotfik keeps pushing forward, so got to be careful. Doesn't know there's a second player here. Maybe they just think it's one. As often there is, only one.
Yeah, and Rez doesn't know what's around the corner as well. Now he does. That will buy his team some time. Smoke grenade on short. The bomb's still secure for now. Disbalance is peeking towards the B bomb site. Rez asking questions, and that will push him away. Coldie trying to find something in the meantime, and it starts to fall to pieces. Just about the raw jewels now as far as Spirits are concerned, but there's still more grenades to deter them. They were trying to push short. Short's been smoked. Now they're going to try and run somewhere else, but they don't really have anything to cover this beyond a dirty flashbang. That will be easily avoided. Rez will hear the scope of this balance, so he need not peek. It's killing the Team Spirit time. 25 seconds. This is brutal for Team Spirit, but it's fantastic for Ninjas in Pyjamas. 4 players alive so far, and Sun Dayang, the only man standing now. His off angle by the window will be enough for no plant for Team Spirit. 4 players surviving for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and a tactical pause from Team Spirit.
Yeah, so we saw 2 things there. 2 problems that happen for Team Spirit. One, obviously, NIP, they get this beautiful cat push. Now, part of the reason they get that cat push, and NIP are looking to punish the default. So as you're working up in towards from Xbox and lower dark, you're working into that catwalk position. Draken kills someone, and maybe Rez can get something as well, but he's there for support. And as we saw there, when Rez peeks, he sees no one, he can drop a smoke. That cat take was so late, and there was so light on players from the T side, that smoke ended up killing, that put the clock down to 30 seconds. NIP had another smoke left, which kind of tells you that Team Spirit were not able to pressure the utility enough from NIP. So NIP cannot be allowed to sit on so much utility for such a long period of time. So that's like one of the adjustments that perhaps Team Spirit need to look towards as they play those defaults in future rounds. 5 Deagles are out though. They've been dangerous, James.
Off you go, away from the long position. NIP might find success in forcing Team Spirit into the Plan B situation, especially mid to late round. Late round especially has been somewhat disastrous from what we've seen so far. 5 Desert Eagles, the Butcher buy from Team Spirit. I think my first introduction to meat hooks was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know if I'd really paid attention to them before that. I guess, as a kid, my mum took me to a butcher's, but I'm looking at the kind of sawdust on the floor. So. Anyway.
I think maybe it's a Half-Life level for me, maybe.
Team Spirit with 2 flashbangs. There's one. There's another one. The numbers game, the gauntlet run. Try and plant the bomb for the bonus money. The bomb's being dropped, however. Draken getting shot by his teammate. Oh, the HE, no Kevlar. It can do 101 damage, but it won't. The HE hits you and then explodes right in front of your face. 101 damage in 2 hits.
3 HEs.
And Coldie is on the flank. He's in the back. Draken, I would have shot, man. Even though it's eco, I want the stats. I'm shooting through my teammate. I'm taking that kill.
Got the bomb down though, so that's extra money in the bag. That's the intention, and that will go. That kind of, with the money that they have now, it kind of guarantees that even if the worst happens in this round, they'll have a buy in the following rounds. I think they're at max loss bonus, correct? Yes, they will be at max loss bonus following this round. So just enough left in the tank to make sure that they will be okay in the following round. See Draken just easily dispatching his opponents as they go for the cat plant, and this is where Team Spirit really needs to get that magic going. That Team Spirit have been providing. They've been really winning and a lot of weird rounds and creating a lot of weird situations. They need that weirdness. And you can see here again, their default is quite slow into catwalk. They're barely at the double doors just yet. And we get a different set of Draken going for a picking angle on the double doors here at long. This is quite devious. NIP have been really good at finding small aggressions and getting some early run advantages. That is a beautiful shot. Oh, that is such a beautiful shot. Wow, Draken's hitting some good ones here on Dust 2. And Team Spirit again, James, start off with a 4 versus 5. That's not ideal. Gets worse.
What about your plan B, Team Spirit? What about your plan B? 3 versus 5. How are you going to convert this round? They've got choke point issues. They've got CT utility issues. They've got being shot in the face issues. 45 seconds remain. They will soon have a time issue. Draken's gone from long towards A. So he's in a really good spot. They've swapped positions with Get Right. This is a nasty surprise coming for Team Spirit. Can he be as effective in this position as Disbalance was? With the off angle behind the boxes, it's pretty much the same scenario. Again, that's the utility issue I'm talking about, and even more delays with the flashbangs and so on. NIP seems to have a very good inkling as to what's going on. GetRight's push through, long to that short position. There's a better molly though, Draken forced away, so he's not getting as much picks. There's more flashbangs than there was on the other side, so Team Spirit have closed the distance to the site. They could do this, it's 13 seconds, it's not going to be easy. 2 big frags from NIP and it won't happen. But I do like the additional flashbangs that we saw from them that we didn't see from NIP on their pushes.
Right, 13-7 for NIP, and I think one thing that would be really beneficial for Team Spirit is to get some long takes, James. We've not seen it at all from them, and we've seen a lot of value extracted from having the long position for the entire round from NIP. Because not only do NIP have that long position, but they're taking a lot of liberties towards catwalk, and so that's problematic. And we're just seeing a slow pace from Team Spirit. You want to try to speed things up in some of these rounds to at least mess with the timings. So in some of these rounds where NIP aren't investing a lot on long, hammer long. Don't allow them to take catwalk so easily or force them to catwalk. Try to exploit that. Find ways to try to take the initiative here. And it's so critical on Dust 2 because what we see time and again is on a map where it's difficult to take CT initiative. We're seeing repeatedly NIP find ways to do that, and it never gets punished. So that's again another problem. So another default here from Team Spirit. Will it speed up a bit more? Chopper's got the Mach 10. He's in the tunnels. He's moving down lower.
Mach 10 against the full buy on Dust 2. I think I'd rather have a Deagle with a flashbang from a teammate. See what he can do with it. At some point, there's a fair chance you're going to pick up a weapon. Although, if they do bundle into the B-bomb site, then maybe if someone's in the car. But again, there's a lot of asterisks. So, Mach 10 on Dust 2. They clear the short area. Lekro and Draken position accordingly. GetRight is on the T side of blue, looking towards long. No challenge there anytime soon. But he's got the sound cues for short, which means when they start to prime flashbangs, he can warn his teammates. So in that respect, it's going to be hard for the initial flashbangs and grenades to surprise ninjas in pajamas because GetRight's so close to them.
NIP are happy that if this is a B split or an A split. They don't seem to care. They've got a pretty good setup. They're anticipating what's coming. 40 seconds, a bit more time at least. Standing over the top of the smoke on the car. And Draken almost getting a free one. I like the cat drops here. This is really important, especially with the Mach 10 is what I was expecting. Dropper wrapping around Draken. Draken, nice reaction. Oh, misses the close range, no scope. And there's a chance now coming in here for Team Spirit, but looks like Coldy's getting shot up there a little bit through the CT position. They know that he's there. Oh, wow. Rez is just tapping it down. Somebody Young has to make this work. Forrest outplays him, though. And now there's an advantage on the members alive for NIP.
This balance, did he spot the elbow of GetRight? Maybe he did. As he picked the right timing, he's got to do something. He's got to force it forward. Not quite going to happen for them. The retake is good for NIP. They survive with 3 players. Somebody can collect an AWP, and it's round 14 on the board for NIP. Double the score of their opponents now. Looking difficult for Team Spirit. How many rounds have they even won in this half? 0 is the answer. They have planted the bomb 3 times, but they have won 0 rounds.
Yeah, they're getting beasted, James. They're really struggling. NIP looking really good, just as Pimp had predicted. It's a really comfortable map for them. And I feel like we are seeing some of those holes in Team Spirit's T side, just again like the defaults. They are trying to run the defaults a lot, but I'm not seeing a lot of value coming from them. See, a faster pace now finally from Spirit, going for a really quick A split. And Draken's occupied on the A side. They have to go for the long push now, but oh dear, it's really not worked out, James. Not even in the least. Bomb is down. GetRight's just happily standing here like, just try it. Just try it. And I have to highlight again, James, we've not seen a single long take. Not one from Team Spirit at the beginning of the round. Not one.
Yeah, that was a brute force attempt on short and on long. The only way I can describe that is brute force. It's a dictionary attack. But yeah, it didn't work. There's too many symbols in the password. They
let NIP get into position on the long position and then try to just push in, as opposed to sort of using the timings.
The brute force attack with your last full buy before game point for Ninjas in Pajamas. It has been a complete failure. Exam paper was rated as F.
Yeah. Indeed.
Necro 24-11 at the moment.
Very nice. Yeah, so much
These
comfort.
are the top fraggers for both sides at the moment, but Coldie's action, all his action was in the first half, really.
Yeah. With the AWP.
Yeah.
I think you know we're really seeing we're seeing I think just a different two teams that understand the map differently, and obviously NIP have what seems to be a more up to date understanding of how to play the map, and that's creating a lot of problems here because you can see that Team Spirit are always in disadvantage. Like whenever they push into positions, they're always in disadvantage, and in rounds where they get the time to do what they want, it's like you say, they're kind of doing these brute force attempts. And also, if you look at NIP's CT rotations, NIP are also like kind of reliably getting the information they need to play the rounds accordingly. And that's like part of the point of defaults is to make it look really difficult for the CTs to guess what you're doing. And I really hope we see a long take, at least one, Jace. Give me one long take.
For what it's worth,
yes,
Get Right has flashed 33 enemies in this game of Counter-Strike, and the nearest people to that was Draken with 16, Sotvik and Samdayung with 15 apiece. So he's like the god of flashbangs on Dust 2 in this particular game.
Flash god.
Seems it will be the battering ram towards the B bomb site, maybe waiting out some initial grenades, looking for a lower tunnel push. Nothing happening there. So minimal warning. It's just bodies. Someone's going to take a bullet for the president. There's some counter grenades from the CT side, and it's stuck in a choke point. It is a shooting range, and it's all NIP with the gun. 16-7, a dominant second half. They win every single round.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't forget that NIP did win both pistols, but honestly, we did see some cool stuff on that CT side, but you can see why they probably picked also, as they did, the sides, not confident really in their T side, James. We didn't see a situation for Spirit where they had any advantages. They couldn't get any value, as I mentioned, on those defaults at all. They could never find a way to kind of make it uncomfortable for NIP. NIP were getting picks. They were playing aggressively. They were always understanding what was happening. That's definitely a T-side needs to be worked on by Spirit. Yeah,
absolutely. Definitely when they put in an uncomfortable position, it's even worse for them. There just isn't really any way into the round against ninjas in pajamas, and maybe the desk will elaborate on that. They'll be with you to review that map straight after the break. We'll see you back here soon.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro. I'll take that. Yes. Hells yes. Oh, armed and dangerous. Oh, hell yes.
Hellcase. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.